Hey guys, welcome back to my podcast where we talk all things Survivor Maryland. So this is the first episode, so actually not welcome back, but since this is the first episode, I'm just gonna kind of go through my time as a Survivor fan in general, my time in Survivor Maryland and what it means to me, and just kind of go through some of the funny stories and hijinks I've gotten into over the years, because I've only been doing this a year. But I hope you guys enjoy. It's probably going to be about 20 minutes long, so, grab some popcorn. Oh, I'll use my little brush as my microphone. So I'm obviously not in a podcast studio, so sorry if the sound quality is not great. I'll even do, a BetterHelp ad, in the middle. Okay, so starting off, so if you guys don't know me, my name's Emma Rothman. I'm a senior at the University of Maryland, and I'm a part of Survivor Maryland, which is a club on campus that basically runs a simulation of the game show Survivor, or the reality show Survivor, and it basically, you compete in challenges as tribes, and people get voted out every week, and there's a lot of idols to play. It's basically like the exact show. That's what I always say when I explain it to people. What I always say is it's like the show, it's just you're not on an island and you're not starving. So it's fun. So first I'll start off with how I kind of got into Survivor, the show, and why I like it so much. So I've always been a huge fan of competition shows. I am obsessed with rooting for real people. I just think it's so fun to see how I think I would react in that situation and see how that measures up to what actually happened, and just basically see it from the outside, get a bird's eye view of what these people are going through. And I think I've always loved games like Mafia and things that really require social skills, because I think that's one of my strongest strengths is my social skills. And I think that I've always thought I could do good in a show like that. So I kind of started off watching Big Brother first, I would say. I kept getting these Instagram ads. I remember this so vividly. I kept getting these Instagram ads about Big Brother, and I was like, what is this? Is this some religious thing that I'm missing? I'm very confused. So I reached out to my friend, who I know is a huge reality show person, competition show, and she was like, yeah, it's Big Brother, it's great, you should really check it out, I think you really like it. So I started watching that and I loved it. I got so hooked. I've seen most of the seasons, kind of, that's not really true, but I've seen as many seasons as streaming services allow, and I really enjoyed especially season 10 when Dan won. If you haven't seen it, it's the single greatest feat of mankind in any competition show I've ever seen. He managed to convince these people not to vote him out after they were more than locked in on the vote. He did this thing called Dan's Funeral, where he went up and basically just said nice things about everyone. I am doing a horrible job at explaining it, but basically it was just the greatest thing, I think, that I've ever witnessed. And I was in my room alone being oh my god, where are the cameras? I need to tell someone about this. Anyway, so after that I was I'll just watch Survivor, why not? It seems kind of vibes, I never really liked Jeff Probst, no offense, Jeff Probst, he's fine, he's just mean. I don't really like him. I love Julie Chen for Big Brother. She's just nice and cute, and Jeff Probst is a dick, and I'm you would do horribly in Survivor. We need to talk about that. He would be so bad in Survivor. Anyway, that's besides the point. So basically, I started watching Survivor. I don't remember which season I watched first. I think I probably one of the later ones. And by now, I've probably seen over half, I would think, of the seasons. I am a huge fan of it. I think it pushes people to their absolute limits. I've never seen anything so insane in my entire life. I think that they just, go so hard. And I just can't imagine starving, isolated with a bunch of strangers, having to convince them of things, having to play crazy mind games, having to look for idols, having to do extremely grueling physical challenges. I genuinely could never. If I was on the show, I would kill everyone in the first 5 minutes because I'm hangry. Simple as that. My emotions completely rule me. My hunger completely rules me, so that would be horrible. But anyway, so that's kind of how I got into competition shows and Survivor in general. And so how I found out about Survivor Maryland, I think my friend, freshman here, who I'm not great friends with anymore, but she was really into Big Brother Maryland. She won Big Brother Maryland when we were freshmen, and so she was telling me all about it, and I was this sounds like something I would love, a silly little game that you can just put all your heart into and not think that much and just or think a lot, but think about funny things, like not really kind of like ignore your real problems kind of situation, because I love to do that. So basically I just really loved the kind of attitude of it. I don't know, I liked the way she described it. So I was like, yeah, like I'll look into Big Brother, I'll look into Survivor. For some reason I kind of forgot about it until senior year. I was like, you know what, I got nothing else going on, like I'll apply. I don't know why I didn't apply for Big Brother. I applied for Survivor instead. I think it's because my friends were really obsessed with Survivor at the time, and I was like, that would be funny. And so I applied. I didn't really think anything of it. I completely forgot I applied. Then I got an interview, and I thought I did horribly. Oh my God, I did this interview in London when I was studying abroad. It was, in my opinion, it was the worst interview I've ever had. Like, I stumbled over, I said, like, I kept changing my words, I kept changing my stories. It was so bad. It was just so bad. But anyway, I get a call in the summer from Ty and Madeline, and they said I made it, which was so hype. And I was at summer camp at the time, and I told all my campers that I was going to be on Survivor, and they were like, the real show? And I was like, no, a club in college. So anyway, my first season was not great. I think I went in thinking it was going to be a lot different than it was, and I went in overestimating my abilities, I would say, and being too cocky and confident, whereas, like, I should have, like, remembered that everyone who's going to be in this is going to be a Survivor fan. So basically, my season was season 21, my first season, and on it was all new people, 20 new people. I was on the Passant tribe, and the theme for the season was Battle of the Hosts. So there was 2 hosts, Ty and Madeline, and they each drafted teams, basically. So I was drafted at first, might I add, on Madeline's team. And basically they just went down the line picking people for their teams who they thought they could win, and just stuff like that. So the theme didn't really have anything to do with us necessarily, but it was all about, like, chess playing, like, just, like, chess moves. It was cool. I liked it. So basically, I'm on my tribe. I'm doing well for the first few, like, days. We win our first challenge. We're killing it. The challenges are really fun, by the way. Like, they have a nice balance. I mean, I'm doing this for a challenge right now, but they have a nice balance of, like, smart and social, and also, like, athletic, because obviously, look at me, I am not athletic. So it was really exciting to see that. I just really enjoyed that. How it's not just, like, running through the sand or in the water like the real Survivor is, because I'm not be doing all that. So yeah, my first season did not go great. Basically what happened was I was doing well. I was doing really well. I was, like, I had not control of the votes, but I thought I was, like, I was always on the right side of the votes. I always knew who was going home. I was always right about that. I could not find an idol to save my life. It was so hard because this campus is so big. That's my one complaint with Survivor Maryland. I don't know how they could fix that, but the idol finding is just so impossible, seeing as this campus is so fucking big, and I just can't be bothered to run back and forth around campus. I just don't have the time, I don't have the energy, and it's genuinely so draining to do that, and especially if you don't even know if an idol is there, if someone already found it. But anyway, I wasn't able to find an idol. I was really upset about it, but I thought I was fine, so I was chilling. Then we get to this one vote where we kind of half split the vote because we thought this one guy might have an idol. Sorry, Ethan. Shout out Ethan Brochart, my favorite fucking person ever. So we thought we'd have an idol, so we split the vote on him and my friend Yaya. And so they just, after that, I was like, it actually worked out well. Like, it was great. But then, okay, my iPad's going to die. So we're going to do a little change of location, guys. You can see more of my room. Anyway, so basically, that vote went as I thought, so I was really happy about that. But the only issue was, because I was in charge of writing, I wrote down Yaya's name, so I was not in a good position with him. But I'm thinking, it's one guy. What is that going to do? Wrong, Emma. I was wrong. So anyway, basically, the next thing is a tribe swap, where 2 people from each tribe choose the tribes. Yes, you heard me right. They have the power to choose the tribes, which is a crazy twist that I did not enjoy. So basically, we choose Yaya, because we don't know about this twist yet. Of course, Yaya does not pick me. Of course. So I get in the outcast tribe with me and Allie, my ally, Slay, and 3 other girls from the other tribe. It was a fantastic tribe. We were women power, we were feminism, we were killing it. We had a great time during Taskmaster, which is what I'm doing this for right now. But I knew that the odds were not in my favor because it was 3 against 2. So basically, we lose the next challenge, obviously. It was Dizzy Bat. Turns out, Dizzy Bat is hard. So, sorry about that. Okay, actually, it's 10 minutes in, so let's have a break for the ads. So, BetterHelp is an online therapy service you can provide. I'm also getting no money for this. BetterHelp's not giving me money. Also, I think BetterHelp's actually bad, so don't go there. Let's see what else is there. I'll do a little ad for my favorite podcast. Actually, that's a good thing. So my favorite podcast right now is Crime Junkie. I'm obsessed with it. It's basically just these women, Ashley Flowers and Britt. Don't know her last name, don't need to. They basically just talk about crime stories, and they're really succinct, and like I really love the research they put in. They put in a lot of time. I love crime stories. I think they're really interesting to think. They also give a lot of respect to the victims in the stories, which I also appreciate. And you should check it out if you really have anything kind of spooky crime related. And they're great. They come out on Mondays every Monday, and they're fantastic. Anyway, back to Survivor Maryland. So we lose the challenge, right? We lose this Dizzy Bat challenge. And I'm in trouble. I need to do some scrambling. I know I don't have an idol, and no one's going to give me an idol. I don't know anyone that has an idol, so I know I'm on my own. So I basically devised this whole plan to say I was not about to turn on Allie. She was my girl. I wasn't going to do that. It wasn't the game I wanted to play, and I'm glad I didn't. It would have not been fun. I love her to death. I was going down with her or going up with her, simple as that. So I said basically, hey, there was three options then for who I wanted to get voted out. And I chose this girl, Lydia. Hey, Lydia. She's definitely not going to watch this, but just because I didn't know her as well. So I pitched to the other two girls. I'm like, Lydia, like, you should vote her out and keep me and Allie, and we can do an all-girls thing. Like, we can... And I meant it. I did. I wasn't sure if I meant it in the beginning, but towards the end, I was buying into it myself, which powers of persuasion, honey. So, basically, I was like, yeah, let's do an all-girls thing. And if you keep me and Allie, you get two of us. Whereas if you get rid of Lydia, that's just one person you're getting rid of. And because you kept me and Allie, you get our two other allies. And I was like, they wouldn't work with you if you don't keep us. Like, which, that's a lie, obviously, as we saw. But I was scrambling. I honestly think I made a great case. I think it was the best case I could have made. I regret kind of not lying and saying I had an idol, because I think if I had an idol, they wouldn't have voted me out, because they would have thought I, used my idol, right? But anyway, I'm, fine with that. So, they're yes-anding me. They're like, yes, ma'am, we love that, so good. They're like, slay. And I'm like, I'm the king of the world. I am on top of the world. I hold the power. I am God. I'm God. So, obviously, here I am, playing again, so I'm not God. But anyway, so we get to the tribal, and I skip up to the voting booth. I skip my little butt up. And I skip up, and I'm like, Lydia. And I read it out, and I'm like, sorry, girl. Like, I am sassy. I am fierce. I am confident, okay? Whose name gets pulled up but mine? It's Emma. And I'm sitting there like, isn't that awkward? So, yeah, I got voted out that night. And I was actually very upset about it. Much more upset than I thought I would be. Genuinely, because our season was so close as people. And I just think that because when you get out of Survivor Maryland, obviously you're still in the club, you can still hang out with everyone, but you cannot talk game with anyone. They have really strict rules about what you can say and what you can't say while the game's going on. And so it was I couldn't really go to their meetups because they'd most likely be talking about the game. So I just knew I was going to be left out inevitably of the group, and that just really upset me. I thought I made I did make amazing friends from that season, and it was just so upsetting to find out that, it was FOMO. It was FOMO at its finest. And I just had so much higher hopes for me, and it just sucked that I couldn't get myself out of that situation. And I hope I can do better this time. But basically, that's how my last season went. It was a great time. It was a great experience. And when Ty and Madeline said that returners have an opportunity to play again this season, I was like, I really debated it. Because, listen, as much as I love this, it takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of time, energy, thinking that sometimes I don't have. I have homework. I have to find a job after school. I have work myself. I have relationships. I have friends. I have stuff that I deem, and I think most people deem, more important than Survivor Maryland, as we should. And sometimes it's hard to balance that whole thing. But you know what? I decided that it would be best if I tried again, because I felt like I just had so much more to offer to this game, and I felt like I had not had a satisfying conclusion to my game, and I really just wanted to prove to myself that I can get to the merge, that I can do individual votes, that I can just basically just like kill it. And although I can't reveal much about the game right now because it's going on, this is part of the game, I will say that I think I'm doing a lot better this season, or I just feel a lot more confident. I know what's going on, I know what to expect. Even votes that were scary, that I wasn't sure what was going to happen, I knew that that's normal. Like, I knew the feeling since I have played before. I really like everyone on my season. It's nice to have, like, some returners, me and some of my friends who I know, but also it's so nice to meet new people. I love that. That's, like, my favorite thing about this club is just meeting people and having those connections. It's just so great. And I think I've really enjoyed the challenges so far. I can talk about those since that's not really, it's a spoiler, but it's not, like, gameplay. So the first challenge was steal the bacon. I hate steal the bacon. That's a camp counselor's worst nightmare, is steal the bacon. So we obviously did not win. We did not do good in that. It was terrible. But we tried. We really did. We tried a lot. And I'm proud of how we did it. I think I gave my all in that. I jumped on people during steal the bacon. It was crazy. I did kind of the best I could, but I really enjoyed that. I mean, I didn't. Sorry. My brain's turning a little bit into mush, people. A little bit into mush. But I did not enjoy that. The second challenge was, I think, one with smell. Yeah, it was the one with, like, 5 senses. I actually really enjoyed that challenge. I did terribly. I trusted my gut, and my gut was wrong, which sucks, which is such an unfortunate thing to do. And I let down my tribe, and I just won't go into it because it's, like, spoilers, too hard to explain. But I felt like I really left out my tribe, and that's something that I really struggle with in Survivor Maryland and in teams in general, is I prefer working by myself a lot, just because if I let myself down, I'm used to that, unfortunately. I'm kind of okay with that at this point. And I do put a lot of pressure on myself, but I'm only letting myself down at the end of the day. I'm not letting anyone else down if I'm on by myself. But on a team, I just feel a lot of pressure because I know a lot of people put a lot of energy, a lot of time, a lot of thought and care into this game. And I just really, really would hate to see them screwed over because of something I did. And that's just, like, my worst nightmare. It was always my worst nightmare in tennis in high school. It was just not. That's why I kind of did tennis, because it's half an individual sport. But basically, I let the tribe down on that one. I didn't like it. We lost again. Third one is Family Feud, and we killed it. We won, and we had a great time. It was so fun just bonding with my tribe and not having to worry about voting someone out. It was so nice to just get to know people on a personal level and not have to worry about it. This vote was the scariest vote of all. I was close to going home, but obviously I didn't because I'm still here. And now we're in Taskmaster. How I feel about Taskmaster is complicated because this is fun to me. I love talking about Survivor Maryland. I love doing this whole thing. But at the same time, it is so mentally draining, this challenge. Basically, how Taskmaster works, if you're not familiar, is they give us a series of, right now it's 213 tasks, and we have to try to complete as many of them as possible before Saturday at 6 p.m. So right now it is Thursday, so we have some time, which is nice, which is why I'm kind of banging out these longer ones. But basically, it's not even so much as the challenges that bother me, the tasks that bother me, because I don't find myself getting embarrassed very easily. Like, I can kind of do whatever is fine and be fine with it, but it's the uploading, it's the organization of all this, it's the communication with my tribe to make sure that no one's doing the same one. It's tough. It's really tough, and I think that often gets overlooked in this challenge and gets overlooked in life, and it's so hard to organize things. It's so hard to keep track of things when they're so chaotic like this. And I think that's my least favorite part of Taskmaster, is just the anxiety of, did I upload this right? Did I put it on the spreadsheet? Are they going to count it? Is it like, just stuff like that. But honestly, I'm really grateful I got to do it again. I have a little more insight. Into how this game works now. And I think that I'm really excited to kind of just get to know the rest of the people. I really hope I can make it to the merge. I mean, future Emma's probably going to watch this and be like, girl, you didn't make it. Or, hey, you won the whole game. That would be crazy. But honestly, no. For me, it's not about winning. It's not about making the merge. It's not about reaching a milestone. It's about making it's about the friends you've made along the way. No, but seriously, like, it's about the people I meet. It's about the connections I make. It's about the skills I develop. I feel like I've gotten a lot better not convincing skills, but like communicating skills. And I think that's very important in life. And I did not do that well in comm. So I feel like I'm getting a second chance here. But anyway, we are nearing the end of my podcast, so I just want to say thank you guys so much for listening. I come out with a new podcast every week. This isn't true, but we can pretend it is. And if you guys have any questions, just hit up my Instagram. I'll do like an Ask Me Anything kind of thing for the next podcast. And yeah, I hope you guys really enjoyed, and I hope you guys kind of consider going into a survivor org of your own. And it's really fun. And yeah, I hope you guys take my podcast recommendations seriously, and love ya. All right, bye.